Hello, my name is Matthew Chan. I am the author of the TurnKey Publisher series of books. And today I'm going to talk about the topic, what gives me the right to write a book? This is a question that every person interested in writing a book will ask themselves. And I have found that it's actually a very common question. A lot of people have a mental block about writing a book, because inevitably a lot of people associate books with expertise and prestige and a certain amount of glamour. And so when someone mentally thinks about becoming an author, there are inevitably some self-doubts. I went through the same thing. I really wanted to write a book, but I didn't think I was necessarily qualified or expert enough to write about anything, at least for the while. I really had to do a lot of soul searching. I had to think about what I could offer, what I had done, my experience, and so forth. And what it came down to is, for me, that as long as I wrote about what I had done, what I had personally done, my achievements, and based on my research and so forth, I really had nothing to be afraid of. Because the thing about it is, we all have our own unique experiences in life that no one can ever take away from us. We have our own universal truths. And when you go to write a book or conceive a book, that is where it has to start. It has to start from within. People think that you have to look outside and see what's popular and write a book based on that. It's true, you should do some market research if you want to be profitable. But people who have an inner calling to write in a credible way, in an authentic way, has to first look inside, not outside. Then what I did was I looked inside, then what I did was tie it to something on the outside. And so that is my advice to people. You have to give yourself the right to be able to write the book. Now, I'm looking at my book real quick just so I can jog my memory as far as what gives you the right. Another thing that I want to talk about is that a lot of people think that someone has to bestow upon them some form of award, diploma, or certificate. In other words, if someone doesn't recognize their expertise, they don't feel like they're an expert. But the reality is this: we're all experts in something in our own lives. It may be simply tying your shoes, or picking clothes, or cooking food, or playing the piano, a musical instrument, or playing a sport. We all have a talent for something. But it is up to you to be able to recognize that. And not only can you have to recognize that, you have to give yourself permission. Because publishing is not an area where people are going to give you permission very frequently. Because if you look around you, you're going to find that actually very few people that you know, unless you happen to be in the literary community and already in the publishing business, very few people are interested in this endeavor. And so one of the reasons why I've created this video is so I can speak to you directly and let you know that you're not alone. I recently met somebody. It was a friend of a friend, and I spoke to her, and she was actually well on her way to creating her own book. And she had actually done a lot of work. She wanted to write a children's book, and she had already had the concept. She already envisioned what it was like, what the story she wanted to tell, and so forth. But what she was plagued with was the self-doubt. And so when I talked to her, I basically, in my own way, gave her permission. It's not like she really needed my permission, but I think for her, it just felt nice to know that she was not alone. There were other people who have made this personal journey, and I shared with her my personal journey, my self-doubts, and the things I had to go through. And once she heard that, she felt so empowered. And for her, that was all it takes. I'm absolutely convinced she's going to be a success. And so I say to you, you have to give yourself permission. The whole idea of the turnkey publishing, the way I created it is you don't have to go through a New York publisher, you don't have to go through a literary agent, you don't need a bookstore. If you have the wherewithal, the determination to work on the book as I outline it, and remember, you don't have to be an expertise, you simply have to have the desire, and you have to be willing to assemble a team to help you get through this. If you're willing to do these things, I promise you, you'll get your book published. Not only will you be able to get it published, you'll get it marketed out via the internet, which will lead to other things. Don't wait for a committee. Don't wait for a diploma. Don't wait for someone to pat you on the back. Give yourself permission today. So, I hope this video has been helpful in perhaps giving you an alternative perspective on what gives any person the right to publish a book. The days where the New York publishers, bookstores, and literary agents have a stranglehold on the publishing industry and upcoming authors, those days are numbered. And I'm living proof of that. And so, if I can help you set up your publishing company and motivate you, then I'd have done my job. Thank you for taking time to listen to this video, and I'll catch you in my next video.